I mean, in my defense, we live in LA, and there ain't shit out here that won't get us thrown out because we've been thrown out of places before. But welcome to the podcast.
Welcome back.
In this episode, we're going to talk about our experience filming horse without giving any spoilers. Joe, do you miss filming the podcast? I know you like doing it, and I like doing it as well. I just don't like doing the work of editing it.
I mean, for you, obviously, there's a little more work involved. But for me, I mean, I think it's a good point for the audience to kind of hear us talk, who we are, how we carry ourselves, our outlook on the sport itself, without just doing the actual play-by-play. A little bit of color, so to speak, or a little bit of personality comes out more when we do our podcasts. A little more freelancing. We're able to sell ourselves as well as the sport.
Yeah, more personality. I feel like people can connect with us more. For those that don't know, we've got a few subscribers since our last podcast. For those who don't know, this whole channel, this sport is you and I right now, completely. Yeah. So we are looking to expand our community, but as it is, it's just two of us. And when we're going out there to the middle of nowhere, unloading all this heavy gear, it's just you and I. And it's a little bit difficult when it's just two guys. Same thing with, putting together the editing, putting together the commentary and the shorts and all that. I mean, I don't want to go into a whole spiel about how difficult things are because it's not. I enjoy doing it. But for the time being, it's just two, and we have to make sacrifices in order to keep the ball running. Balls don't run, do they? They roll.
Rolling.
The ball's rolling.
Rolling.
What if you run after the ball? Hit the cutoff? No?
If you got to run after the ball, then the runner scored.
All right.
It is satisfying. Anytime we go out there, we know we're in for a day of hard work, but we also know at the end of the day, it's going to be a satisfactory day of hard work. That it was worth it.
I'll correct you and disagree with you. It's not satisfying when we set up the field and then they kick us out.
Well, that's true.
That part is not satisfying.
For all the content everybody has seen, not the times that we've gone out there and, as you mentioned, been kicked out and told to kick rocks, basically.
Yeah. I wish the cameras were rolling on those days, though, because...
Yeah, those might be some interesting moments.
But let's talk about our Pentashot time trials. We did 3 rounds on I think this was it July 1st? Something like that.
I'm not really sure.
It was first week of July. I think it might have been the 1st.
Okay.
1st of the month. But this was in a driveway of a private home in inner city Los Angeles. Oh, I wrote here August. So maybe it was August.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, I think it was August. I don't believe it was July because I don't remember any fireworks before or around the time that we were recording. It had to be early August.
That's BS because in that neighborhood, there's always fireworks.
Well, it wasn't seasonally shooting.
Between July and September, in any Mexican neighborhood, there's always fireworks. Guarantee it.
Between January and December, dude. Doesn't have to be July to August.
All right, so I wrote down here August. All right, follow-up question. What month are we in right now? Is this
September now.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was August.
It wasn't that long ago, right?
That's why it had to be August, because July is like a little too far back.
But it was hot.
Yes.
And the concrete made it hotter. By the time we got to the 3rd round, it wasn't so bad. If you look at the video, there's a lot more shade in the 3rd round.
Yeah, we weren't that deep into the day, but we're at the point where, the temperature was starting to go down.
It was like early afternoon by that point. But it felt better. We were trying to stay cool. We were trying to stay hydrated. But by the time we got to the 3rd round, I don't know, I felt better than I did the first round, honestly.
Yeah. Maybe the sun was slightly going down or the way it was moving.
Went behind the building, maybe.
Yeah, we were starting to get more shade. There was a little bit of a breeze coming in.
Yeah.
It wasn't as direct as it was when we ran the first 2 rounds.
And this would be our first place that we didn't rent. This is somebody we know. So we weren't really on a time deadline.
Right.
Which we're always against the clock wherever we're going. Either we rent the field for like 6 to 8 hours, and because it's just you and I, we always feel like the sense of urgency. Okay, come on, let's reset the field.
Yeah, we got to get it done.
Yeah. So we didn't have that going against us. And resetting the field wasn't so hard this time because we had a dolly. It's on concrete. It rolls smoothly.
Right. Like you had mentioned, we try to mimic it or take it to the point where the length was the same of our reloads.
Yeah.
To try to make it
as best we could.
Yeah, in line with that, but in reality we're kind of setting up half a field, not the full field.
Yeah.
So it does make the time or make it easier and a little quicker.
Yeah. I mean, the reload simulation during the time trial was the same distance, but when we're resetting the field, we're resetting them all to the same spot, so it
Right.
was a lot easier.
Yeah.
But first round, you wanted to go first.
Yeah.
Was there a reason for that? It ended up being a detrimental decision, I think, because person goes second gets to see what you do.
I think sometimes there may be no rhyme or reason to why I do things. I'm just like, let's do it. Let's go. I'm
It's
the
kind of like let's get it over with type of thing.
Yeah, I'm the first one to jump off the bridge, and then everybody finds out, oh, there's no concrete like underneath that bridge, or there's nowhere to land. You just keep on falling. But hey, somebody's got to do it.
So you went first. We're gonna breeze through. We usually when we do round breakdowns, we go step by step. But because we're doing 3 rounds today, we're gonna broad over strokes,
Right.
broad paint strokes of stroking. We're stroking fast today. Round 1, you went first. You picked up 4 reloads and you shot first with 8,
Right.
but it didn't work out for you.
No, I mean my strategy. I went first. My goal was just to try to do as many reloads as possible. This was the first time we were going to hit a target or hit 5 targets.
Yeah.
Hit something 5 times.
And it was a decent distance too.
Yeah, and we had touched on that. It was maybe the farthest, or at least in line with the farthest we've had to shoot. So
I think it was the farthest.
yeah, I mean, not only the challenge of having to acquire more ammo, but also shooting from a farther distance. So for whatever reason, my confidence level wasn't the highest in my shooting. More ammo, the better. More reloads, the better. I just figured I'm going to go at it and get as many as I can and let the chips land where they may.
So you went 4 for 9 with your first 8 shots, and if that doesn't make sense, let me explain.
Yeah.
On one of your shots, and we didn't know it at the time. I'm watching you as you're shooting, and you're the one shooting, and you still didn't realize it. But one of your shots, like 2 bullets came out,
Right.
but it still hit.
Yeah.
But it's like, how do you call that?
Yeah.
So we're calling that as you shot 2 bullets because 1 hit.
Exactly.
If you had missed, I would say, okay, that's 1 miss. You know?
Right.
At that point, when you went back to get the last 2, it's kind of like you shot 9. But luckily, you hit it on your 10th shot, and it was not a big deal. You went 5 for 10. How did you feel after your time?
We've talked about this. It's funny because I look back when we did our overview last weekend, or when you kind of showed all the matches. In the beginning, my shooting was actually better. As we've gone on, I think it's regressed. So confidence-wise, even before the round started, it wasn't high in regard to my marksmanship. But yeah, after completing the first round, I was pretty confident you'd probably beat me. Your shooting's been better. So it was just getting the match started.
Ah,
Like I said, let the chips fall where they may, get the match started, win or lose, get it rolling, and see what happens.
so then I went, and I tried with 6. I tried to do the lazy way. Because I know I got 2 more rounds to go. And I think I've said this before. In between our matches, I really don't work out that much. I kind of do it like the week leading up to, maybe the 2 weeks leading up to, but I'm kind of lazy.
Wake those muscles up.
Yeah, most of the time I'm on the computer, putting together these things. If it were up to me, it'd be other athletes out there, and I'm just running the show.
Right.
So, shout outs to future athletes. But I'm kind of a lazy dude, so I went for 6, didn't get it done. I hit 5. No, I hit 4 out of the first 6.
Right.
But also, I had a double shot on that one.
Yeah.
And didn't realize that at the time. So I owed 1 ammo, but I picked up the last reload, hit the next shot, went 5 for 7. We mentioned this on the review episode, but we're not keeping time out there.
Right.
But at that point, first round, we can kind of tell, yeah, I probably finished it a lot faster.
Yeah.
So in that first round, 4 reloads for myself, 5 for you. You picked up all 10 pieces of ammo, 8 for me. 5 for 7 for me, which is kind of like the median of what you probably needed in this time trial to win.
Right. I mean, that's solid. It's very solid shooting.
5 for 10 is never going to get it done, whether it be a time trial, whether it be a full field, unless, the target's super far, but
Right.
it's usually 50% shooting, so you're not going to win.
Yeah. You got to shoot like around 70% or higher to give yourself a real chance at winning each round.
Yeah. Besides that, if you're shooting at 50%, you're going to tire yourself out round to round. And
Right.
by the time you get to the 3rd round, you're gassing yourself out.
It's the accumulation of ammo by doing the reloads that that's going to lead you to being exhausted when it's time to shoot.
That's by design, by the way. And people that don't get their shooting together, especially when you need to play multiple matches in a day, all those reloads are going to start wearing on you.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why
gonna
the
wear on
reloads
you
are
over
not
time.
super, super, super hard, because it's designed to do, multiple times a day. Round 2, you went first again, which is expected because we're doing, your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn.
Right.
And you learn from the first round. So in the first round, the first thing I did was the jugs, which you kind of have to do a reload in the beginning.
Right.
But
You got to do something.
from there, I went right to the rescue, and I rescued
Right.
them all the way. And I figured, I'm fresh right now. I'm gonna have to bring this guy to a certain distance anyway to unlock my gun.
Yeah.
Let me just take him all the way while I have him in my arms.
Right.
Use that momentum. So you saw that, and you're like, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. That was a perfect strategy. It hadn't crossed my mind. I was just more tunnel vision as far as, I got to do these many, not really how to go about it, just doing it. And yeah, when you got the dummy in round 1, yeah, that was like the perfect strategy to go about things.
You try to shoot quickly. You try to shoot with 6. Had to go back for 2, but you went 5 for 7, shooting a lot better than the first round. And what was different was the stand up.
Yeah.
I don't recall. Maybe you told me between rounds, like, I'm gonna start standing up to shoot. I don't recall.
No.
So when did you decide, like, screw it, I'm gonna stand? I'm not, because in the first round you're sitting on the dummy like a conquered villain, even though he's supposed to be the guy you're rescuing.
Yeah, I'm like I mentioned, I looked at our first match. I forget what else I was watching. When we first started filming for this sport and putting content out, I feel like my aim was a lot better. I don't know when it made a turn for the worse, but after round 1, knowing I hadn't shot well before, and then going into the time trial and going 5 for 10, I was, I just have to try something different. There's the old adage, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But if it's broke, you gotta try something. And my thought was, okay, I saw you have success standing and shooting. Might as well give it a shot. I really can't do any worse.
The guns are CO2 powered, so it has a little oomph to them.
Right.
But it's not like a bullet. It doesn't go perfectly
No.
straight. So gravity's on your side when you're standing.
Correct.
I don't think your shooting's gotten worse. I just think the targets have gone further. Like that first match we did in the desert, our first trial match,
That's true as well.
they were kind of close.
Yeah.
Compared to what we did on the grass, we pushed them a little further. In the trial by fire, they were even a little more further. And this one, the time trials, was our furthest to date. And you'll see when we do horse, we put even, well, the target didn't move in horse, but we were moving further and further.
Yeah.
So it comes into play. I forgot the point I was trying to make with that. But you went 5 for 7 shooting.
My change in shooting style, which I figured, standing was a different option at the least.
So I've never tried, doing it from a knee. Well, maybe I have. I just don't remember. But
Right.
when you stood up and you shot your first 2 to 3 shots, did you immediately see the difference?
Well, I hit
Besides
more.
the fact that you're hitting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that was it. Okay, I'm having more success this way. I mean, that's all that really came into mind. I mean, to date, I think I'm still trying to figure it out, but for now, standing's worked out better.
My turn. After you, I saw you went 5 for 7. That's a good round. That's comparable to what I did the first round.
Right.
So I'm thinking I got to do a little bit better than I did the first round. But I also know we're going to do a third round regardless, win or lose.
Right.
So I'm going to take low risk, conserve my energy, and if I have to, go balls out in the third round, I'll do it. I did this double sandbag first out of cockiness. And, I want to show the camera, hey, I'm not so out of shape as I was last year, by the way. I know you went for 8, so I think I have a little bit of time to play with.
Right. Well, not to interrupt you, me going 5 of 7, I went for 6 at first.
Yeah.
And then I missed that. Missing that last shot is what killed me. If I would
cost
have
you
hit
time.
it, I would have won that round. But going for 6 first and then having to do one more reload in order to get the 2 was the difference in round 2.
And I had told you, because you already knew you had gone for... No, actually, I think I said this before you went. So maybe I bluffed you.
Yeah.
But I told you I'm going to go for 8 the second round. And then after I got my 6, I guess because I did the 2 bags,
Yeah.
like, screw this, I'm going to shoot with 6. I'm tired.
Put some work in.
Yeah. But it worked out for me. I hit 5 of the 6 shots. Again, we were not keeping time. But I felt like after that I won the second round. But it was a toss up, and when watching it side by side when the editing was done,
Yeah.
you're leading me every step of the way.
Yeah, it was just missing that last shot. In real time, being there, like you said, it felt close.
Yeah.
You thought you had won. I thought I had won. Yeah, going back and reviewing it, as you mentioned, yeah, up until that point I had the lead, but that's where it slipped, and I forget. I think it was about 20 seconds
It was
difference, or
like closer to 30. It was like
Yeah.
30 seconds. But which is nothing, because in between your round, we're resetting the round. You know, maybe like 20 minutes goes by.
Right.
Which 30 seconds and 20 minutes is nothing.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't
not-
really remember accurately.
exactly.
But I thought that I won simply because I didn't get the eighth piece of ammo.
Right.
But it could have gone either way. What were you thinking after the second round? Did you think I won, or you're like, maybe you still got it?
I mean, be it that on that day we don't really know who won. I just figured. I mean, I'm going hard in round 3.
Yeah.
Hopefully I take it. If not, at least I win a last round. I mean, I wasn't really sure who would be the winner of the day, but I knew going to the last one, okay, I gotta win round 3 hands down, no doubt, to at least give myself a chance.
So looking at the stats, it was actually 22 seconds difference.
Yeah,
So which
right,
is like
yeah.
nothing. You went 5 for 7, standing up shooting. Your second round was a lot similar to my first round. It's just I went 5 for 6. So I mean, yeah, I'm
Well,
awesome.
I don't recall. In round 1, did you have to go back to get
Yeah.
extra? Okay, yeah. So that was it right there. I mean, you went 5 for 7 when I was 5 of 10. I went 5 for 7 when you were what? 5 of 6?
5 or 6.
Yeah.
I didn't rescue the guy all the way this time. I try to like conserve energy.
Right.
Round 3. So I'm feeling good. I want to go first. Again, I feel like I probably won at that point,
Right.
but I'm feeling strong and I'm warm. So like, let me go again. I want to go back to back. And you're like, nah. And I'm like, yeah, let me do it. So I did it. But I went for 8 ammo off the bat,
Yeah.
thinking like, okay, what are the chances I'm going to hit 5 or 6 again?
Right.
So I'll play it safe. I'll go for 8. Plus, I'm feeling strong, and doing 4 reloads is it's a good workout.
Right.
So, but I did an efficient rescue. I carried them all the way. I thought I did a fast time. It was my
You
fastest
did.
time of the day.
Yeah.
But I didn't need 8. Went 5 for 5 shooting. When I hit that 5th one, I'm like, this dude's done.
Yeah.
I got a sweep. It swept. But shit, you smoked the course. Smoked it.
Well, that was the goal. Just trying to get it done fast. I wasn't really going for, as we mentioned, anything visually or aesthetically pleasing. I'm just going for the
Screw
win.
the viewers.
Hey. Well, like we mentioned, I wasn't sure who won round 2. You thought you won. I thought I won. In my head, like, I'm gonna take round 3, so there's no doubts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was taking it seriously.
Yeah, I mean, if you had won the first 2, fine. But if I had won round 2, I just want to close it right there. So my goal was just get it done. Yeah, I mean, took the jugs, went to rescue the dummy, came back, did the jugs again. You know, in my head, I'm shooting like, you're going to hit it. We're going to make this. We're going to make this. We're going to make this. And luck was on my side, and I happened to hit 5 out of 6.
For the time trial, the way the course was set up, the route you ran for the third round was probably the most efficient way you could have.
Oh, yeah.
Jugs, rescue, jugs.
I think you see it just for a split second. That's the first time I've even ran with the jugs.
But you did go 5 of 6 shooting. You finished it so fast, 1 minute and 38 seconds. I wonder if you missed that 6th shot. Even as fast as you were going, if you did another reload, if you still would have won. That was our fastest round, that third round. I did 220, my fastest of the day. 5 for 5 shooting. I had 3 pieces of ammo I didn't even need. Didn't even want them.
No, dude, you shot great. I mean, there's moments, even though we're competing, I'm still rooting for you, dude. Like, this is, the better we both do, the better it is, period.
Yeah.
It makes it more interesting. It makes it more fun.
We came in there with the idea of, is getting 10 pieces of ammo a little bit too hard for 9 minutes? Is hitting 5 targets a little bit too hard for 9 minutes? Let's see where it is. But it ended up being really easy. And the time trial is just kind of like opening the door for our full field of 5 targets, because it is not going to be that easy, of course. We're adding different reloads.
It'll be even more difficult.
Yeah, but this is like a base. Like if we couldn't do this, then it's like, okay, we need to tweak something.
Yeah, there's no way the rest would be able to happen.
I'm happy that there's no hiccups in the development of the sport. This was our last trial period.
Right.
I have a couple post-race thoughts. You started standing up shooting, that was, as we mentioned, and that might be, the advantage you needed to start winning all the rounds because you've always done more reloads. You generally have more stamina on the field. I've been getting by with being a better shooter. But now, that shooting is iffy.
Well,
I mean, my advantage of shooting is iffy.
we've touched on this. I mean, regardless of how good of an athlete you think you are or what you're able of accomplishing, shooting is a main factor in this sport. And in the end, I believe for many competitors, that is going to be a separating factor. Who's the better shot? Who has the better aim? I mean, yeah, you can get reloads done, but if you can't shoot and you got to go back, you're wasting time. Time is always of the essence. So
it's not just time, it's energy that you need for later.
That too.
It's the best 2 out of 3.
The more you do, the more you're trying yourself out, the more tired you are, the harder it is to hit those targets. So the change in stance, I mean, to a degree, was a little bit out of desperation because from the very first match, I don't like to lose. I don't. I mean, even though we're out there, it's for the progression of the sport. I'm learning to not take things as personally, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't bother me. So the change to stance was to try to get more W's in the long run.
Yeah, well, my point being, it's going to be a lot more interesting now. If
Oh,
you're
definitely.
going to hit like that,
Right.
it's going to be a lot more interesting. I got to up my game on my stamina, which is probably my weak point. Definitely my weak point. But my cardio is better than it was, compared to our first match. And as a result, I like playing a lot more now. It's a lot more fun. We've said before, like in previous podcasts, the game is super fun during the rounds. It
Right.
sucks that when you get tired, of course, but
Yeah.
it's very fun. The thing that sucks for us being only 2 people out there is resetting the field. And that's more energy we're killing. It's fine enough to get 2 pieces of ammo carrying that 150 pound bag to the middle of the field. But then when the cameras are off and we got to carry that guy back for no reason, it sucks.
Well, that's exactly what was running through my mind. It is. I've always had fun every race and every match we've done. When you're actually in there running the course, it's very enjoyable. But yeah, once the cameras are off, then you got to take it back.
Yeah.
And then regather yourself to run it again. It is taxing, but moving forward in the big picture with more competitors, it's something that can be very enjoyable, and I feel very satisfying for anybody who participates.
But now that I'm getting in better shape, I'm getting a little more competitive now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start just taking it a little bit more seriously. Production's still my priority, of course, but if somebody wants to play, what's up? It's more exciting when it's not so hard. We're putting in the work, and it's not an easy sport, but it's really fun.
Oh yeah.
Reloader news and developments. You and I have a date on October 14th, sir. We're going to be out there, and anyone that would like to join us is welcome. Please send us a message on either drop us a comment on YouTube, hit me up on Instagram, whatever you need to do. We'll let you know where we're going to be, but we're going to be in the greater Los Angeles metro area. October 14th, we're going to have a full match, 5 targets. We're going to tweak the field a little bit, make it a little different than what we've been doing.
Okay.
We have our standard reloads are going to be out there, but we're going to bring out new things. We're going to tweak the race zone. We're going to add, we're going to add ropes.
I was thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it feels going to be a little different. The thing about Reloader is the rules of the game stay the same, but the way you may go about earning your ammo or earning your gun can change from match to match. And, we try to keep it fresh.
Well, yeah, we don't want it to be too repetitive or too redundant. As you mentioned, the rules are always going to stay the same, but the reloads, how the game's played, the course itself may always be evolving.
Yeah, and we have about 4 weeks to get ready for that. And but if any brave soul wants to step up to play one of us, hey, feel froggy, mother effer.
By all means.
Mother freaker.
By all means.
Come jump, and we'll see what's up. But honestly, we want to see new faces out there. I would like to referee, because referee adds a different element of the game. Right now we've been going with the honor system, which Joe is a little iffy on. But a referee is a more balanced system.
On my honor, with my fingers crossed behind my back.
So hit us up social media. I have a Facebook. It's the Reloader Sport is me handling all those handles. So hit us up. We'll talk about it, see if you're available. Well, the day is October 14th. It's going to be the morning. And now we're in the fall, Joe. And our biggest struggle in the
That's
summer was
true.
the freaking heat.
Yeah.
So now that the heat's behind us, we're going to be filming more often. And I want to get like a surplus of matches
Right.
to get us through these hot summer months, which are not fun.
No, they're not at all.
I don't want 108 degrees again next year, please.
It's going to be 108 degrees on October 14th.
Yeah,
Watch.
watch.
Watch. 112.
Thanks.
I would love to see a lot of people out there competing. Especially because anybody who goes out there and actually participates will see, even though it's challenging, it's enjoyable. It really is. You'll get satisfaction completing each round if you go out there and give it a shot.
Yeah, and again, the full version of this game is tournament format. We
Right.
want brackets, so even if there's 4 of us out there, you won your first match, great. Now you got to play the winner.
Yeah.
But on to our main topic. Joe, you and I had an adventure again.
Yes, we did. In the wise words of Obi-Wan, who's the fool or the fool who follows? And so there's times I'm going in just straight blind, like, okay, let's do this. But it's always an adventure, and it ends up being worth it in the long
Yeah,
run.
and speaking of Obi-Wan, we were kind of out there in the hills of Tatooine
Oh, yeah.
filming this.
So probably some sand people didn't pop out
Yeah,
of the mountains and just pick us off.
Some Tusken Raiders showing us how to shoot. We went out there with the intention of filming a match. We got out there, couldn't do a match, so we're like, screw it, we're here. We rented this van,
Yeah.
we paid for this land, we got to do something, let's
Yeah,
film horse.
do something.
Rewind the clock, a few months ago we did have some horse episodes. I think there were 6. This
More or
was
less.
kind of at the beginning of our adventures where I think we hadn't even filmed a match yet. We filmed those horse.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not quite sure. I don't know if it was before or after, but it
Or
was
maybe
in that,
both.
Yeah, in that time
Yeah.
frame, more or less.
Definitely the first episode of horse predates the first match.
Oh yeah, that's
I
a
know.
fact. Yeah.
But I didn't do well. I lost. So this was my my vengeance day. I'm hoping. If you haven't been following our horse so far, I've been releasing them at 4 shorts a day for the next 3 weeks and compiling all those into episodes. Starting on September 23rd, we'll release the 3 episodes from the next 3 Saturdays. We got a lot of content out there, and I'm including some of our dialogue out there so people can kind of, see what we're going through out there. But it was another hot day. It was not like a comfortable location.
No.
A lot of ants, a lot of bugs,
No
a
shade.
lot of dirt. Yeah, no shade.
No
Forget
shade
it.
at all.
But we roughed it. For those following the shorts, we're 4 shorts in. We know Monday through Thursday the shorts are going to come out. Joe, you're behind right now. You have an H,
Okay.
and I hope you get 4 more letters in the next week. But no spoilers. But next week the letters start coming quicker. So
That they do.
follow it, and at the end of next week we'll release the first part of 3 of that horse battle. But it's fun playing horse. It's something different. It's like the game of basketball horse where I make a shot, you got to top it, or else you get a letter, stuff like that.
Well, I mean, to me, it's enjoyable. I mean, the race itself is enjoyable. When we play horse, yeah, it gives you a little bit of chance to like.
Works on our shooting.
Yeah, I mean, freelance. Have some fun with it. Think of something challenging. Maybe you can do that your competitor can't. Like, no spoilers, but I know at one point you had mentioned like, oh, you're the dude who like lays the ball up because the other guy can't every single time. I mean, yeah, maybe. But it does. It's just it puts a little twist.
Yeah.
It makes it a little more exciting. Like I said, the imagination gets to run wild while competing with somebody else.
Yeah. And we're not going to give spoilers again, but we like to talk a little bit about our experience out there. It was rough, dude. It was hot.
Yeah.
We left at noon, but we started like maybe at 9.
Yeah.
We were out there a while, and
Yep.
this, even counting to this day and everything previous, so far, it wasn't the hardest, but it was the most workout we've done, at least for me, in this adventure of Reloader.
I'll have to agree, even as we spoke about in having a match, running each round, resetting the fields.
This was more.
Our horse competition was pretty intense because everything is, well, no spoilers, but it was a lot of just heavy lifting. That's all it really
like,
was.
In the first few shorts, you can see, we start right away with the heavy bag.
Right.
First thing this guy does is like, I'm gonna lift the heavy bag 3 times. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be that kind of day, huh?
I think, I did kind of set the tone for how the day was going to
Yeah.
go. And to be frankly honest with you, like I mentioned before, sometimes I do things, it's just like, this sounds good. That's a good idea. Why not? But in retrospect, yeah, we're doing this for a whole course of a day. Maybe I shouldn't do what I think is one of the hardest things to do right off the bat.
Yeah.
But hey, why not?
Yeah, and probably on our current reloader field, the hardest single exercise to do is not just the sandbag carry, but picking that thing up off the floor. And he said, let's do it 3 times. Not only 3 times, but then when you reset it, you have to pick it up again and put it back where it was. So we were trying to help each other out with the resets, but basically the rule we stuck to is the shot you just did, okay, put it back where it was.
Right.
Because the person that just went can't catch their breath versus the person that's going next. You don't want to tire them out.
Yeah, it's a little, what do you want to say? It's bad sportsmanship if you're making the next person do it before they run.
Yeah, gassing them out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we lifted those jugs a bunch of times, lifted the sandbag more times than I could ever remember doing in my life. I didn't wear sleeves, and by the end of the day, I had scrapes all over. They're gone now. But
I remember.
You can kind of still see them.
Yeah.
I had
a couple spots. Yeah.
Scrapes all over my arms because I didn't have sleeves on, and we're picking that off the dirt, so you get a little bit of dirt and rocks when you pick it up.
Yeah.
Not getting into spoilers again, we do bring out other pieces of equipment.
Right.
It was a lot of lifting. I was sore for the next few days, but honestly, I'm riding the coattails off of that one workout for like the last couple of weeks. Luckily, our phones were working though, which means the GPS was working, and that stupid, I'm going to say their name, the stupid solo shot camera that we use that doesn't never work was actually working for the first time, which I've never said this publicly, but the pain this camera has caused us.
Yeah, they've been quite a hassle.
Yeah. First match worked awesome. You could see us on the first match. This is the camera that follows our action.
Yeah.
And it's really great because
when
it's like
it works,
having a cameraman.
when it works great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the last few times, I'm talking about the green test, I'm talking about trial by fire, has not worked at all. But this time, hey, it wants to work when we don't care.
Yeah, it'll face down, it'll face up in the air, it'll not work. But yeah, that was honestly of the day the most surprising thing, that it was where we were at, that there was actually Wi-Fi, we got reception, and that the cameras were working.
But the cameras worked only a little while because it got so hot. The drone was overheating.
Yeah, again,
solo shot eventually overheated. I had to put it away.
Heat factor.
Our GoPros were overheating. Mine specifically was overheating.
Oh yeah.
Maybe because I'm so hot. But so you'll see as we present the clips for the horse, these are all presented in order as they happened. And unfortunately, the cameras did overheat after a while. So some of the rounds that we did, not all cameras work. And, for drone specifically, I had to bring it down. It's overheating, change the battery. So there's some rounds that there's no drone. There's some rounds where there's no solo shot. The only consistent camera, honestly, was yours, your solo shot.
Yeah.
No, sorry, your GoPro. That ended up working every round.
I'm just too cool for words. What can I say?
So. Ice cold keeps it cool. We have our standard horse graphics that I used before, but I modified it. I made it, we got the cocking of the cylinder like we do during our regular matches.
Right. Yeah.
Our shorts that we're presenting are sped up to fit into a little short format. But Saturday episodes will be action in real time, along with our dialogues. We want you to feel like you're there with us.
Minus the heat.
Minus the heat, yeah. We want to thank all of our subscribers. We want to welcome all the new subscribers. Maybe this is their first podcast they've heard. Again, if you're interested in playing Reloader with us on October 14th, send us a message. We'll get in contact with you. I'll get in contact with you personally.
Reloader Sport, Reloader Chief, Reloader_13.
On Instagram. But Reloader Sport, you can find on any of the handles, mostly. Reloader.sport on TikTok, because somebody
who shall remain nameless, but maybe come to light in the future.
Some relative stole the Reloader Sport TikTok from under my nose. So, but whatever. I already started on the other one. Freaking guy. Reloadersport.com for if you want to pick up these t-shirts that we're wearing. But that's it for us this week. Joe, you have anything to leave us with before we sign off?
I enjoyed revisiting our podcast today. I hope everybody out there, all the old and new listeners, I'm excited that we have gained more followers on social media, more subscribers on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. Look forward to you joining us again.
Yeah, we have episodes every Saturday at 10 a.m. I was going to say specific time. Specifically Pacific time. 10 a.m. Pacific time. Every Saturday we have an episode. We thank you for joining us. Please spread the word to your friends, your family, anybody that might find this interesting. Reloader Sport, this is just the beginning, and we look forward to building this sport with all of you.
Thank you for tuning in.
Bye-bye.